Wild dogs roamed the streets outside the Acropolis, the huge high rock overlooking Athens. Their claws skittered on the smooth marble flagstones, and their tongues lolled from between snaggled yellow teeth. They looked hungry and bedraggled, and they kept most people away from the ancient monument in the hours before it opened. June pretended not to notice the scraggy, smelly things as they trotted back and forth around her. She remembered what her ex-boyfriend had taught her about big dogs. She didn't make eye contact with them. She kept her arms folded, her fingers out of sight, and she kept on walking, despite the weight of her rucksack. It seemed to work. The dogs tagged along expectantly, but didn't try to eat her. The sun sat low in the early morning sky, honey-coloured sunlight burnishing the trees. The air smelt fresh and of pine needles. Away down the hill behind her, Athens came slowly to life, the distant burble of cars and chatter echoing up the hill. Up here, all was silent, but for the dogs' eager breathing. But one by one, even they left her alone, padding dolefully away to scrounge easier pickings. June made her way to the ticket kiosk. A large man sat up behind the glass partition, eyes fixed on his newspaper. Just as she had ignored the dogs, so the man ignored June. She stuck her tongue out at him and crossed her eyes until a split second before he looked up. Then she smiled her most winning smile. He sighed, looked at his watch, and returned to his paper. June dumped her rucksack down on the floor, her shoulders aching, and waited. At 8:01 in the morning, he tucked his newspaper away and slid the glass partition open to peer down at her. "Borona eho estirio parakalo," said June, her accent not half bad after 2 weeks' practice. The man scrutinized her student ID, then unhurriedly tore off a ticket from the book in front of him. He muttered the price so quietly no sound actually escaped his lips, but June already had the correct change in euros. The man seemed to find this exhausting. "Evharisto," said June sweetly. Heaving her bag back onto her shoulders, she made her way up the pathway behind the kiosk. At the gate, a guard with a twinkle in his eye tore her ticket. He made a joke she didn't quite understand as he handed it back to her. June could ask for food and drink and hotel rooms fluently, but she wasn't up to flirting. She just smiled at him, tolerant but not encouraging, and continued on her way. In just over 2 hours, she'd be on a train heading back to St. Pancras. Why did men only ever show an interest when it was too late? The path led her up to some steep marble steps, the ancient remains of an impressive entrance gateway. June climbed the steps, her heart pounding, not with the effort, but with anticipation. High above her loomed the propylaea. The marble blazed white in the early morning sun.